Go.
I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so grateful that you all took your time to be here today. So I hope I'll justify this. So I am a biochemist basically. I graduated in biochemistry from University of Mysore, but because I was also interested in code learn as a student, I took this journey and enrolled myself in courses and started understanding data science. So that's my journey, and then now I'm working for a company called where I deal with a lot of large language models that we're going to be talking about today. So we will be dealing with what is AI in general, the multiple definitions that it has, and what are the uses, how can we use AI in daily life, how people are misusing AI, and I'll also be giving some demonstrations towards the end of the innate curiosity that we carry. I also understand that there are so many different animals that are capable of being curious, but humans are of life. Then comes philosophy. Who am I? What am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose here? So when intelligent, but for us to define intelligence, it is not so straightforward because we can define intelligence, we can define it in multiple ways, right? So if a neuroscientist were to define what intelligence is, they would define it in terms of neurons, neuron firing, neuroplasticity, right? The hormone philosopher would define it in terms of self-awareness, rationalism, rationality. But no, do you see the problem here? If you have intelligence, artificial intelligence, machines neither possess neurons nor do have self-awareness. Now, how do you define intelligence now, right? To understand how when we say artificial intelligence, what's happening in the background? To understand that, I'll just give you a small activity, and we'll see, based on that, we'll try to understand how artificial intelligence works. Does this building have a lot of complexity? So if you have to add all that in a graph, our brain will not be able to comprehend. How will you read a graph? This is what AI is really understand multiple dimensions that humans cannot. So now, if I have to define what intelligence is in terms of machines, we can define it in terms of patterns, and then making predictions, taking a lot of data, understanding patterns within the data and giving the output. This is what artificial intelligence is about. So they could do is they had like sophisticated systems to write codes, and computation power is pretty good back then, but they didn't have a system where machine could think, right? Like, so his name is Frank Rosenthal, and he is the pioneer in something called multi-layered perceptron, which I'll be showing you in the next slide. Moving on to the next slide. So what he tried to do, I'll give you a context. So this is the neuron of a human brain. So let's say the input is something really hot, and now output is the reflex. Like you just touch something really hot, your brain sends a signal and it processes it and sends it back, and your reaction is taking it back. So that is how the input and output are working here, and basically the firing of multiple neurons in a particular region of your brain. Inputs. What they would do is, in these large language models, that before speaking about ChatGPT or Gemini, I'd like to say what is closer to the apple, the company, not the apple, the fruit. So there is a probabilistic distribution there with the watch. So that's how it understands you're talking about the watch and not the fruit. So for it, it doesn't understand anything in terms of words. It's just numbers. The AI, like how dependent are we on AI? I think it's too late for humans. I think we have reached a point where we cannot live without. In the particular industries, developing really good AI models. So this one is called Humbug. So this one was built by Oxford University. So this app is used to identify a particular species of mosquito app, so which we all can use. So you just have this is from NVIDIA. So you just have to open your phone, scan a plant. It will tell you what species it belongs. Favorites. This was published in Deccan Herald in 2023. Now AI can speak all languages, understand all languages, and AI. Now, doctors are using AI, and it is. I think it will be prevalent in few years. All the doctors will be using AI. You see a lot of images now on social media. Now we've reached a stage where 80% of the content, not just images, AI can also mimic human voice pretty well. So this is the app someone built.
This is my voice, and I can speak whatever you want. Just type in your text and generate an ultra-realistic audio. Try now voices AI yourself.
If you issues, yeah, we can come up with all the rules we want on paper, but because AI is so new to, so now, like there's job opportunities threat now. Like people are losing jobs because a single AI model can do a job. Email to someone. Asking for them to summarize the meeting that they just attended. Okay, how would you write it? Okay. So people are now writing prompts like draft me an email asking my boss to summarize the meeting we attended, and let's see what it does. Asking people to invest. As if Nirmala Sitharaman is asking people to invest in mutual funds. This is the prompt we are giving. Look if Ravi Verma painted Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
How would it look if I...
Yeah.
Yes.
Premier will...
Reading the book. I love the book, and I took probably months to finish the book. But I think today, if you upload it here, let's see how long it takes for us to give the summary of Tale of Two Cities. And it has
better than because Google Translation.
Right,
It's very
right.
Because I am using it regularly. Can you give me my Aadhaar card number? They'll give you.
That's a very valid question. So here is used in training. So you have to be careful. If you're giving your personal pictures, personal information, it will be used to train the AI model. So
a PPT. I asked, can you give me a faculty? I was training a program, and it gave me my friend's photo only. She was working in Hassan, and she uploaded her photograph in the website.
yeah.
And it gave her photo, and I was shocked to see that.
Did you name the person?
No, I didn't name anybody.
Okay.
But it was actually available in the Google, and she has mentioned
Yes.
LinkedIn profile and everything, and it gave.
So now better job than like it is doing. Like now we are if I have to Google anything now, I'm frustrated. So I go to ChatGPT and I ask something. Now whatever is available in Google is trained. Like these LLMs are trained on the Google data. So they know what's in Wikipedia, your private data for their own training purposes. Using your private social media accounts to give.
You talked about students cheating in the exam and all these things. So it's about teachers need to upgrade themselves. That's a framework or structure where assessment structures are accommodating these kind of innovations. Because currently I'm working with an institution where I'm doing a faculty development program to embed AI.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I got an opportunity, but faculties are really struggling And they are complaining that students are directly prompting ChatGPT and then giving the assignment. Their concern is the higher education institution norms and everything say that this is the assessment structure they should follow.
Yeah.
Want to do, and they are not allowed to do because the assessment is still rote learning based.
I just feel like there is a lot of difference between the language people use nowadays.
So proactively, you communicate what you need to an LLM in single message. So different ways you can write prompts so that the LLM generates like the proper content it generates proper content according to your needs. So for example, if someone in the
happens in the world,
can
it predict it?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Can it predict it? Predict the disasters happens.
Heating conditions on
Yeah.
ocean waves, what is the likelihood of a tsunami?
India's new artificial weather warfare, carrying 1.3 metric tons of water on enemy's location in just 6 hours.
On the internet, mostly from English speaking, whatever kind of people, isn't it? So isn't there a skew, a bias when you access information from there? You're not getting somebody from rural Karnataka writing in Kannada.
So I think remember the names right now, but people are using a lot of like let's say Kannada texts. They are feeding it to AI models, and then they are coming up with the Kannada agent, AI agent, or like the particular language. They're doing it for Sanskrit, right? Do they need consciousness? Is the question. They don't need consciousness to be powerful or be harmful. So, are machines really intelligent? So we know that there is self-driving cars like their own and come up with something on their own.
In future, there is a hint because there's a godfather.
Yeah.
Has told that these artificial intelligence, they themselves develop a separate language of their own.
But you said that AI in the human being cannot do. While we have, as a bioscientist, you know, we might have come to a miniaturized kind of output like chips and maybe much smaller. But then, how is AI different? How does it do something that we cannot do? Our memory or association of ideas, interpretative capability?
We have very limited capacity for memory, right? But they do not. The scale is just...
Madam, you made a statement that it can do something that we cannot.
Like understanding three dimensions and beyond that are
into algorithms and level of intelligence. What level of intelligence, say, emotions would develop? In other words, AI instruments or bots, how would they become emotional?
People inside the car would be hurt. So then that's a decision based on the conscience also. So as of now, it doesn't happen.
This is all written like again pre-programmed by humans. Now, if you hit something, your response should be something. So this is all pre-programmed by humans. It's not that they have developed.
Artificial intelligence is designed and created by human beings because all machines are created by human beings, right? So that way I could even summarize that, the human brain is more intelligent than artificial intelligence, right? And we should be looking at this very seriously because if artificial intelligence is allowed to just expand, the human intelligence, the natural intelligence is somewhere being compromised, right? And making ourselves obsolete. So it's like human beings.
I think
can generate images, and we've seen the best part of AI, the power of AI.
Yeah.
So since I'm pursuing electronics and communication, the worst part what I have seen, like the past trend, is the Ghibli Act and its effect on GPUs. Could you elaborate more on that? What's it, generating images on the GPU?
Oh yeah.
Great. So how does your AI work when you have no data sets or training sets? Example for this, you heard of a disease or a symptom called as autism or your ASD, autism spectrum disorder, where the kids below 2 years or probably 1 year gets affected, wherein you have no data sets for this. So how does your AI work there?
It will not.
With dementia or Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, even then the AI will fail.
What you have to understand here, the available source. It is going and referring to the source and then coming and generating content. So it also depends on the authenticity of the source that is there on the
It's not the same.
Yes.
So it needs a lot of training. And the second question is, how big the data set can the ChatGPT handle? Data set.
I cannot recall the numbers.
Because you have the GPUs running especially for that purpose.
Yeah.
In this case, how much the size it can handle?
Let's see.
It is taken in terms of tokens. Assume that you have a data set. Assume that you're from the biochem background. So assume that you have a token or a data set, say some 15 or 16 GB. You want to upload it to the ChatGPT training.
Oh, you mean to the GPT model here?
For the training.
If you go and see their plans, like they will say what is the you can upload.
And being utilized for their own purpose.
Yes.
So I think it's like a breach of our privacy.
It is.
Mistakes.
That's why we need a stronger ethics and lawsuit that's written, which is not there right now. Because if anything you upload on Facebook, anything you upload on Instagram, although they say we do not use it, they are using it behind the scenes.
Exactly.
So there is no way you can delete your account permanently.
Like wherein
I hope so, yes. Now that the social media is...
Thank you for making this house full today in Kalpakshetra. Half of you are family members of Sindhu? No. All of them are AI related. Okay, if you are not half family members, it's even better. Thank you very much for coming. I'm happy that there's so much enthusiasm and keenness to learn about AI and such modern technologies in Mysore. Actually, that is because most of us are already aware of it. Most of us are using it. In fact, I used ChatGPT about 2 years back to study some aspect of Ottoman history, Ottoman Empire. I must tell you this. I asked about 15 questions to ChatGPT. That was ChatGPT 4. The answers I got were mediocre. If I was the examiner, I would not give more than 35% to 40% marks to that kind of answers. Okay, now ChatGPT 5 is definitely much more advanced information. Basically, we must understand artificial intelligence is artificial. Okay, it is machine learning. These two things we must understand. There is a huge difference between intelligence of the human beings and a machine learned intelligence. Machine learned intelligence is based upon existing data. It is repetitive. Of course, it now, because of these AI tools, it puts it in a syntactically, grammatically correct language format. I asked Grok this question. This is a very controversial question, okay? So Grok answered. It was a fantastic answer. Grok answered saying, and I asked what is the service that Savarkar rendered to the British government to get this pension? I asked these two questions. Now Grok said, yes, he was given a pension of 60 rupees per month, but this is not for any service rendered. This was a payment the British government used to do to everybody who was kept under house arrest. So even Gandhi and Nehru got this pension during their house arrest. This is a fantastic piece of information I was not aware of. Now this puts the whole, it compared and contrasted with other freedom of jobs on a massive scale. And this is going to affect the IT industry on a huge scale. So, and India will be one of the biggest sufferers of this. Because we are the biggest coders in the world. After China, India. You can't say that it's 100%. No, yeah.
Word suits according to you. Which is the better word?
We are more advanced than the artificial.